Yo, yo, yo. It's Thursday. We're back after 2 weeks. Feels like a month. It's Reflectors Polarity. We do car audio things, and basically me and Dean just catch up on
Yeah,
these shows.
to talk about cardio things and I say cuss words.
Yeah, exactly.
It keeps me awake. It keeps me young. How you been?
So, I've been good, man. Been working. Had a bunch of stuff going on at work this past couple weeks. So, how about you? I know you've been working.
Dude, we're still like this trip to Vegas just kicked our ass. I mean, I get it. I'm 50, cool, but like, man, like we got there Thursday, and we went and hung out with Brian Mitchell, picked us up at the airport, and we did Brian Mitchell things all day. Like we shot a video of him, this thing he's been wanting to do that I gotta edit and get out at some point. And so we spent the whole day because normally Thursday is the setup day. Like we get to go set up booths and stuff like that. And we had to set up
Yeah.
the Morel booth. But there was a show in there and like they didn't get out, they had to be out by midnight. So we couldn't go and set anything up. So it was like, well, what time can we come in on Friday? And they're like, 7:00. What time does the show floor open? Like 4:00 or some shit like that. And I was like, okay. So you just see these ants working like, thank you. Nice, Christian. Everyone's just trying to build their boost because people are coming in that day. It was just a mad rush. So Friday was like, Thursday we had some fun and we stayed up way too late. Then we had to get up at the crack of dawn to get in there and start setting up the boost. And then, we were up till 3 so Thursday night, I think we were up till like 2, and then we were up till 3, and then Sunday night. So Friday, yeah, I don't honestly at all. I don't remember getting to bed before 3:30, and then Sunday after the awards, we didn't even go to bed because our flight was at 5:30. So it was like we got done with the awards, went back to the hotel, we packed everything up, set them on our beds, and we went downstairs and hung out. And it was like at 3:30, it was like, all right, let's grab a cab and get to the airport.
Damn. That's rough.
Yeah.
We're going with my daughter Bailey to Vegas in June sometime. But the flight back is going to be at 6 a.m. And she's like, oh, we could just stay up the whole night. And I said, who's we? Like, I'm not staying up all night.
I mean, we did it, and I don't plan on doing it. Yes, I got to walk the dogs. Fernando,
I seen them shit. Right as I tuned in. Perfect timing.
Dude, man, I'm like, I'm going to tell you right now, I did not go pick up the shit.
I didn't think you were going to. I didn't think you were going to.
I never went and picked it up. You know why? Because there was dog shit everywhere. Like, I'm just fighting these dogs because they're finding every piece of dog shit in this place.
They have to match it.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that. I'm not picking this up.
Yeah.
Like, no way. There you go. Local.
Yeah.
Yep. But no, that was fun. The dogs are hilarious, man. I love Brian's dogs. It's apparently because the dogs love me, which is weird, but pets usually do, even though I don't like them. But these dogs, like they're too hard not to just like want to pet and shit. And so the princess, the white one, is just like all up in my shit, man. As soon as I get in the car, her ass is in me, and she's just like, oh, pet me. And I guess according to Brian, which he could be lying to me, which I wouldn't be surprised. He's like, when these guys, when they're back to you, facing forward and they're letting you pet them, it's like, or sideways or whatever. It's like they trust you. I'm like, oh, whatever. I'm not a dog guy. You can say anything you want. I'm not gonna buy it. But oh, dude. And then they both fell asleep in my lap. I'm like,
yep, pinning you down.
Yep. Oh my! And they're just so heavy. But oh well. But no, it was so. But yeah, so Vegas just kicked our ass. We had some really amazing food. That was like we went out to eat a couple times. and like we went to this one restaurant with Joe from Kicker, so you guys know who that is. And he's a good friend of mine outside of all of this nonsense. We talk on a regular basis. We're tight like that. And his friend was in town, this guy Dan, and Dan's like, oh, you got Dean and Fernando tonight? We're going out, bro. And I'm like, and so he texts me, he says, hey man, we'll be ready at 9 and be prepared. This is gonna be one of those nights. And I was like, okay. So we get to this restaurant. They got security in the front of the restaurant. And I'm like, okay. So we walk up and we're like, yeah, we have a reservation. And they look down at my shoes and they go, excuse me, do you have any other shoes?
Oh no.
And at this point, I'm tired,
Yeah.
I'm hungry, and my
Did they get sassy, Dean?
Oh, my I don't give a shit meter is just like
yeah.
And I looked at the guy and I go, what kind of dumbass question is that? Why would I have another pair of shoes? Very good.
Yeah, sorry. I should have took it.
Yeah, you should have. I mean, I would.
Yeah.
Making sure mine's on vibrate. I was just like, and I looked at the guy and then I looked at his shoes and I was just this close to going, my shoes cost a hell of a lot more than yours cost. When Dan stepped in and Dan fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi'd his ass and says, you don't have to worry about his shoes. They're fine.
This is not the droid you're looking for.
Yeah, totally. Dude, that's exactly what he did too. He literally just, you don't have to worry about his shoes. They're fine. And the guy goes, okay, I'll go talk to my manager. And he's like, because we have it. And Dan's like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Well, you probably also had shorts on at this point.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're just like full Dean at this point.
Full Dean.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm just looking at all these other people in there. And I'm okay. So I'm going to tell you right now, like those fucking foot gloves that you guys all just love. Like, oh my God, he's got stupid shoes.
Mm-hmm.
They're expensive. Okay. Like we were out shopping for Vans this weekend. And I'm seriously going, I have picked the wrong shoe to wear. Because I can pick up a pair of Vans for a much reasonable amount of money. And they will last a hell of a lot longer. Shit.
Yeah.
Like, goddamn. Like, did you see the white ones I had on?
Yeah.
So I got them specifically for this because I knew Brian was going to wear his white jacket, and I'm going to have to wear my white shoes. So I went and ordered them. I've always wanted them, so I ordered a pair of white ones. And everyone's like, "Do you have socks on?" I'm like, "You were just wearing." I'm like, "No, come on." And they're like, "Oh my God, you got white ones?" I go, and I'm standing next to Brian. I'm going, "He's got on a puffy white jacket, and y'all worried about my shoes."
Yeah.
What the fuck?
He's over there like Puff Daddy.
Oh yeah. Oh totally.
You got toe shoes, white toe shoes. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, Brian had a second one of those jackets. I should have said,
you should have. I mean,
yeah,
with the shorts, like if you could find some white shorts as well.
Now you're pushing.
That's fine.
Maybe next year. But yeah, it was pretty funny. But so they finally come over and they go, "Oh, the manager said it was going to be okay." I'm like, we're already at the bar drinking. Like we're literally already at the bar and we're already on. We're already on the second round, which means we're like $300 into this night already.
Right.
I mean, come on, like seriously, go away, go away. You know. But apparently they had some of the most amazing steak they've ever had in their lives.
What'd you have? Pork chop, chicken?
I had chicken quesadilla. So it was
a chicken quesadilla.
It was a Mexican infused steakhouse.
Oh, okay.
And it was funny too because he's given us this dissertation on this cut of beef that he's going to buy for the table, and I'm of course over there going, "Do they have chicken?"
Yeah.
And it finally, so he gives this whole speech, and everyone is just, you could just see the salivation and just like the anticipation of, oh, we get to have beef. And then he looks at me and goes, "Yeah, none of this is for you, so it's all, And he was just like, "Sorry, man, get whatever you want."
Yeah, chicken quesadilla with fries, please.
Yeah. Actually, they were out of fries.
Oh, damn.
I was like,
what?
You're out of $50 French fries? How is that possible?
Yeah.
Like, you fucking kidding me?
What'd you get then? Would they have like
no
side?
No, we got like tons of sides because it's everything there is like you order a piece of beef and then you have to order like a side big enough to feed like 10 people. So they had like mac and cheese was the trip food.
Yeah.
I wasn't in the mood for fries. Like I had fries before I left, and I was like, I really don't eat a lot of French fries anymore. I have to like, all right, I'm gonna have them once a month kind of thing. And I had them before we left, so I was like, no fries on this trip. So mac and cheese, they're again not the healthy alternative, just like
You
it's the
said you weren't gonna
alternative.
have fries, so have mac and cheese.
Yeah, it's so the first night we went out, the mac and cheese was the weirdest mac and cheese I've ever had. It was like sweet macaroni and cheese. It was like
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I was like, did y'all put like sour cream or something? That was weird.
I just
So
had
that
pizza tonight with honey, so
that's not bad.
yeah, it was different. I was like,
Yeah,
"There's something sweet on here."
yeah. Wrong show. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
but we could talk about Anyways, their mac and cheese was truffle mac and cheese, and we were eating that, and Joe was like, somebody better take this and eat the rest of it because I can't eat this, but I'm not going to let it go to waste. He's already gone
Oh,
home and tried
damn.
to make it himself. He goes, I went and made truffle mac and cheese. And he goes, it tasted almost as good as that. I was like,
Dang.
seriously? And he's like, yeah, dude,
Truffles are
that shit's
expensive as
awesome.
hell.
Yeah. It's the most expensive mac and cheese ever, but
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you right now, all of this is lost on me. It's like, I'm eating quesadillas that cost more than I could buy a whole meal for my family for. And I'm going, these are chicken quesadillas, bro.
It's chicken quesadillas. What can you do to chicken quesadillas?
Or enchilada. It was enchiladas. Either way, who cares?
Yeah.
It was tortilla filled with meat, lettuce, and cheese, and
Mhm.
sprinkled with shit. So whatever. But anyways, that was Vegas.
What did you see anything cool that you can talk about?
From the Morel booth, we saw nothing. I got to sit in Norton's car. So Norton built the car for Museway. So as soon as we got there, and he's like, dude, come listen to the car and tell me what you think. And I was like, oh man, this sounds great. And he's like, turn it up. And he's like, yeah. And I was like, what? And he goes, well, I didn't. I go, all right, well, let's turn it up, because because. And I'm explaining, I was like, dude, listen, man, this thing's got to make people's own. You gotta Marty McFly this bitch. I mean,
Exactly.
So we got that squared away. It was like very nice. He did a nice job as a Porsche, like electric Panamera, whatever the hell that thing's called. That was really nice. And I got up real early, and I went, and Mike Rios, who's on the show and had that Stinger, he doesn't have that anymore now. He's got a 300. He was nice enough to come in, and we got to film his car because they just finished it for the show. So and then of course the Morel car sounded really good. We filmed that too, that the guys out at Audio Systems built. As far as new stuff went, I mean, most of the new stuff we'd already known about.
What is this? This was a knowledge fest, right?
Yeah, this is a knowledge fest.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're really, I mean, like Alpine is finally, like a lot of the stuff that Alpine introduced, they introduced last year. They're just finally shipping.
Right.
And then you have like the new Osmos or Maximos or whatever it is, the Alpine DSP that auto sets itself. So yeah, it's doing some like kicker key style shit to it. So they had that on display and they were showing that. I really wanted to get over to see it, but we didn't have any time to do that. And then we did the Morel training where we took the video that we put out yesterday with the Virtus Carbon Nanos and the Virtus. We did that live.
Oh, okay.
So, and there again, it's like we've been asking them to let us do this for them for like years, because we're just like, we wanted to do it too, because I mean, we're like, we wanted to see how those compared to one another, and we weren't hoping that one sounded better than the other. We were hoping that they sounded the same,
Right.
because they're it's the same name, so one's just that thin,
One's super thin.
yeah. So it was nice that and there again, a lot of people are commenting that on that video, the ones they like, and I enjoy it, because, and I've read every comment, which I don't normally do, but I have on this one because I wanted the feedback. I wanted to see what everyone was thinking. I mean, majority of the people live were like, there's no, the Carbon Nanos are like awesome. They sound the best. And Yeah, it was just really cool. So we're gonna be doing that training again at Master Tech Expo for all the people that didn't get to catch it.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. Get to
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to watch that. Well, I seen it pop up, but I didn't get a chance to watch it yet.
put on some good headphones and jam out. Listen to some of that free YouTube music.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, dude, I did get a comment the other day, like, why are you using this trip hop garbage? Like, bro, blame Viacom in 2000. That's my comment. Like, blame Viacom in 2007 when they sued YouTube.
Yeah,
That's who you're mad at, not me.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny though because like YouTube is just changed all that this week. Like,
Yeah.
they've taken all YouTube music and they've taken all the licensed music that you can pay for. And now it's this big mess of shit, and you have to like
suss it out.
Oh, it's horrible. I was looking at it last night because I needed a song for one of the videos I was doing I think today or yesterday. I don't know when I was doing it, and I was like, "Oh, this sucks. I hate new things."
Well, especially if you got to sort through them, because I mean, very rarely do I want a song with words in it.
Yeah,
I just want the beat,
Yeah.
So.
Well, now you can select that as a. They finally added that as a. So
there you go.
Oh, I hate it when you find the perfect song and it's like, and then some chick starts singing, and you're like, "Where's the version without her ruining the song?"
Exactly. Yeah. Give me the
karaoke
version,
vocals, baby. Yeah,
exactly.
But no, yeah, I don't. Kenwood introduced their new the new motorsport line. So they have motorcycle stuffs, motorcycle speakers and a whole motorcycle system that they announced at their. Alpine was just doubling down on that new DSP. Ground Zero was introducing the big amp that I showed everyone last year when I was out there. That's finally starting to ship. So they have those and the speakers to go with them. It's like $11,000 for an amp and 2 speakers or 4 speakers. And you really need 2 of the amplifiers. So what?
20 grand.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I was reading his comment. Have an audio question. Are there any decent underseat subs, front seat that would be used in SQ setup with an 18 in the back? Actually, yes. Focal makes a set. They make a dual 8-inch set that we got to listen to when we went out to their training at Mobile Solutions in October. We did a whole travel vlog video on it if you want to see. There are these little boxes that have a front firing 8-inch, not round, woofer in them. Right.
That are like, we put a Focal Flax 10-inch in the factory location and then put these underneath the front seat as the mid bass per se, kind of like BMW style.
Right.
And Jesus Christ, these things, it just coupled with that rear woofer and sounded great because they played deep as hell. So you might want to check those out. They're pretty cool, and they're thin. Man, you find those at focalusa.com. Proud sponsor of 5-Star Car Stereo. Anyway, I don't even know what we were talking about. Wasn't anything important. Yeah, wasn't anything good.
Train of thought. Morel makes
doesn't Morel make an under seat set? No. They make a BMW speaker, but not a speaker like that. Not like a subwoofer enclosure type thing that you could put underneath the seat. I tell you what, we did finally get to hear though. We had a guy come in that had the Diamond spare tire box.
Yeah, I've seen it.
So it's like the JBL one that we did, but it's a Diamond one, which we actually had Diamond send us one. And we just never had a chance to hear it, but we got to hear one the other day. And it was in that big Focal build we did, the one that had those 2 big old school Focal amps stacked on top of one another in the trunk, and like it had the Alpine DSP, and I don't remember what else it had.
It said the RUX or something like that.
Yeah, something. Yeah. But dude, so we put a sound digital amplifier that we hid over into the side panel in that car, And yeah, because that's right, because it had two focal amps stacked on top of one another, the Alpine DSP and the big Metra fuse holder. Then we hit a Sound Digital amp up where the factory amp would have gone, and that powered that thing because that's all he had for right now.
Right.
Holy shit. I mean, I was like, damn. Well, for now, we've heard the JBL, so we know it does good.
Right.
This was better than good. This was like, oh my gosh, like
surprising.
Shit.
And it's all enclosed too, isn't it? So you don't see the sub or anything. It's just
No, you do see the sub. It's open. Yeah, it's open.
Okay.
It's all aluminum. There's like an aluminum chamber that the sub, but you can see the sub, and yeah, it's good. I'm a Focal fanboy, but my pocket's not so much. They're not that bad. Trust me, these things are not that bad. It's not like regular Focal price. It's not like Utopia's type shit.
Yeah.
But check them out. Seriously, their prices aren't that crazy on these. But if you're trying to pair up with an 18, that'd be the thing to do it.
What about this?
Did Kenwood show? Okay, so Dave, let's talk about that. The RVS. Drop the S, drop the 8, and you have 2 letters, RV. This is for RVs. This is not for cars. This is not a car radio. And yes, they did have it there. It looks it's basically a 1003, okay, or 1000, whatever the hell it's called. It's not an XR, so it's in the regular line. It is gonna confuse the shit out of everyone. They've always made an RV model radio, but they've not made it available to the general public, meaning through like us retailers. You can only buy it through like Lazy Days or whatever motorhome crazy places that there are, which I still haven't figured out how those places stay open.
Right.
Like, because there's
the big
millions
RV
of dollars of RVs, and
right.
How many people buying that shit? But I guess a lot.
Yeah.
So that is only if you have an RV. If you don't have an RV, you don't buy that. So it's got all the extra crap that RV owners need. So, but yeah, it's not anything special. They don't have a great OS on it. They don't have anything cool. It's just RV stuff.
Just the RV one. Well, yeah. I do have an audio related story. So I went to buy a Canon M50, which I already have. I just seen it, but he had it in a package with a lens I wanted.
Oh, nice.
So he had the lens I'm using now, the Sigma 16 mil.
Yep.
And so I pick it up. Ends up, I find out through this that he also has a YouTube channel. So it's Fast Track Outdoor, lives in the area. Go to meet him, get the camera, all that. Guess where he works? He's an installer at a California Customs here, and done a bunch of old
school
builds back in the early 2000s, late 90s, kind of in the same area that I was. So yeah, so I just thought it was cool to meet someone that also had a YouTube channel, also does car audio, and is also within my age range.
Yeah.
So that was crazy to find somebody that I know almost all the people that competed around here.
Yeah.
But somehow in that era, I think he competed just after me. So I kind of, I didn't know anything about any of his builds.
Wow.
At the time of the build, of course, I seen him afterwards. So I thought was cool to meet somebody local that kind of does YouTube, also does car audio.
So he just does like outdoor stuff.
Yeah, he does like a lot of camping and 4-wheel off-road type videos.
Where's that, man? Those guys probably do really well.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. It's like, oh, why did we pick car audio? How stupid.
Right.
Massive. Oh, we know that. Oh, God, why? Should have just done iPhone photography and left it at that.
Exactly. Or just review the iPhones. Or play with toys and have 3 million subs or something. Yeah.
Walter White needs a system in his RV. Haven't checked the Flax 3-inch. I'm stuck deciding. So the 3-inch, it's not a 3-inch. It's like a 2 3/4. It's not a wideband. It's not a wideband. So if you're not going to put a tweeter on it, that's not what it's for. It needs a
It's not going to
tweeter.
help you. Where does it
Yeah.
fall off? Like 12K, 15K?
Probably before that, because
Really?
it
Wow.
knows it's not a wideband. It's made for a
Yes.
tweeter. So I mean,
Right.
I don't even begin to think where it's mapping out. But because the Focal tweeters, they're like 5,000.
Right.
This is
Yeah.
where you cross them over. 24 dB, 5,000 hertz. Like if you call up Nick right now, he's gonna be like, "You got DSP? Yeah, 5,000, 24 dB. Have a nice day, bye."
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're
Whereas
like,
Morel, you got some room to play with their
"Oh
tweeters.
Jesus!" If you called Casey and asked him, he'd be like, "Well, what kind of
Yeah.
music? All right, well, where's
Exactly.
the tweeter? Well, I mean, you could probably cross it over. I would do like 22 at 18 dB. Oh, you don't have 18? All right. Well, maybe do. And you're just like
Yeah. Yeah. Cross it over 1500 hertz, 6 dB.
dude, let me tell you what. So when we put the 8-inch or the 9-inch, the late 9-inch in our rep's car, I texted them up. I said, "All right, man, I'm putting these in Sajecki's car. It doesn't matter what you tell me because he's gonna change it, but give me something to go on." He's like, "All right, cross it over here, cross it over, and then let those 9-inch play all the way to the ground," and I'm just like,
Yeah.
it literally says, "I'm letting them play down into the dirt," and I'm like, "Yeah, no, no, because you're not the one. You're gonna be the one that gets them back, but I'm the one that has to take that damn door apart." Nah, I'm good.
Exactly. Yeah.
Does anybody make an interface for the current model year GM Bose radio? Yeah, Metra. Metra has the AV. It's called AVB, A Victor Bravo. That's the technology that system uses is AVB. Right now, the only Nav TV came out with an AVB interface like 3.5, 4 years ago, and it was out on the market for about 6 months, and then they recalled it. Supposedly, they have a fix for it, but they have yet to ship it. So we're gonna go with a big fat no. And Metra came out with their AVB interface. They're the first to actually come out with one since then, and they came out with it 3 months ago, sometime in December, I think it dropped. So it's expensive-ish. It's not too bad. I think it's under $400 now. All the Metra stuff comes with their DSP built into it, which you don't have to use, but it does come with their basic DSP, so you get an EQ, time alignment, all that fun stuff. If you want to use them, if you don't want to use them, you don't have to. Like we just did that stuff that the Focal went into had he literally bought every interface and he decided that the one he wanted was the Metra one. I was like, okay. And so we were stacking we were going out to that Alpine DSP. And so it was like I had to just sit there and go through and turn off all of this
Everything.
stuff. I'm like, all right, which app is it? Oh my god.
How close is that DSP to like a full-on DSP?
It's got the 4 things that you need to be the 4 things that you need in order to be a DSP. There's 4 minimum things that have to be in every DSP, and that is individual channel level control. And this is why head units fall flat, is because they're always missing something.
Mm-hmm.
Individual level control and EQ for each channel, time alignment, and crossovers for all channels involved. So as long as you have those 4 things, technically you're a DSP. Everything past that is what makes one DSP different than the next. So, I mean, even the DSP I loathe the most, the Dayton, has all those things. So,
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a lot of Dayton clones, if you want to call them, floating around. Dayton was kind of the first one. Now there's quite a few of them, and they usually sell for like $100 more than the Dayton. So,
well, yeah, but they've probably I've taken apart one of those clones and the Dayton.
Yeah,
they're not the same. And they don't. Now, what most of those clones haven't been able to figure out is the voltage.
Right.
They never fixed the voltage issue. Like if you
run so still 2 volts like the Dayton.
Yeah. If you run more voltage into it, and boy,
it just steps it down too.
Oh, dude, it crashes. It sounds so bad. Like we were running it into we ran the GS9 into one of those, And we're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yep.
I mean, you want to make a GS9 sound bad? Yeah.
But
Throw one of those DSPs in there. Woo, yeah, baby. Woo. I mean, you turn the volume at like 13 and it's like, oh, this sounds like crap.
yeah.
Do you need any workaround for stop-start systems on newer vehicles like 2023 GM Terrain? Man, there's a handful of companies that make memory minders, and basically all they are is like you pull the dash apart, you get to the switch, you plug it in, and all it does is as soon as the car starts on, it pushes the button for you. There was a company that we used to use, I don't remember what it was, but Google stop start bypass in the make, model, and year, and usually they come up, and most of them are pretty. The more basic they are, the better they work. Is really what it comes down to. But
well, you gotta have an amp that's compatible, don't you? That'll
yeah,
play
I
down
mean,
that low.
just buy equipment that's stop start compatible. So I mean,
Right.
and there are some. So I believe the new Audison amps are stop start. The Helix amps are stop start. All the current Kicker amplifiers, the Key and the yellow CS amplifiers are stop start. The Marine aren't because they're Marine.
Right.
They're all stop start compatible. And basically, what you're looking for is an amplifier that when it drops below 9 volts, the amplifier doesn't go into protection.
Right.
So,
hey, me and Derek were actually talking about this the other day. So what voltages do you see in a stop start when it does stop?
it can go down. So there's a DOT rules how long the car can stay off for.
Right.
So I don't. It's either between 30 seconds and a minute, and that's it. And then it'll start back up. But depending on the life of the battery, it can be as low as 8.5 volts. But most of the time, it's no lower than 9.5 volts.
Okay.
And
yeah, because Derek was asking about that. I was like, dude, I don't. You know who would know the answer to this question? And I forgot to ask you. So
yeah, well, there we go.
Yeah.
It's so, and the problem is like you have to build your power supply to take that bump. Most power supplies are designed for 10 volts.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Like anything below 10 volts, the amplifier trips the protection circuit, and then as soon as it goes above 10 volts, the circuit goes, oh, I'm fine, and turns back on.
Right.
In most cases, sometimes you have to turn them on and off. Those things suck. But in order to get it to stay on, you need like a capacitance bank, because like even a battery, like a lot of guys are like, I put in an extra battery, and it's like, okay, so you're just gonna hope that the battery stays charged all the time? Because if that battery goes, like, it's like then you have to do math.
Yeah.
You have to figure out, okay, so there's no current coming in. The car is going to be off for 60 seconds. I'm drawing at the volume I'm playing at, because I'm hammering the shit out of it. So
Right.
I'm drawing, 120 amps of current, or, whatever it says that I'm, whatever, put an amp clamp on it, figure out how much I'm drawing over that hour period, or that 60-second period of time. So it's yeah, you gotta do math. Oh, fuck that. It's like, screw that.
Right.
I mean, most new modern amplifiers that are normal sized aren't going to have a problem. But if you got like a Sundown Salt 2 and a or 4 or whatever the hell it is, and a JP 8008, you're screwed. You can buy all the limitless shit you want. At some point,
it's gonna draw down. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just in a video. My video coming out Sunday will be an MVX, a 5,000 watt. It's like a Brazilian clone style amp, right?
Yeah.
Let me tell you, this thing. I've redone my test bench, so I've got a better lithium, dude. This thing is a freaking monster. It drew at maximum like 690 amps.
That's all?
Yeah, but I mean, it's actually pretty efficient for the power you're getting. But I mean, 690 amps is stupid. And anyways, like at 1 ohm, if I had to just do burst tests, because if I done a continuous test on the sine wave, it would drag it down, dude. If that amp got to
even lower,
if it got to 10.8 volts, boom, that sucker just shut off. It's done.
Oh yeah.
And then as soon as the voltage rebounded, boom, cut itself back on. It's rolling again. To get 10.8 would seem to be the number.
Yeah.
where they
Well,
set that protector
there
circuit.
again. It's
Yeah.
it probably 10 and a half volts, something like that. Yes, 10.8.
It was
Oh no,
consistent too. It would consistently at that
yeah,
voltage turn itself off, and then as soon as it rebounded a little bit, boop,
that's
put
awesome.
itself back on.
That's awesome. Yeah, so so um we had an amplifier manufacturer come to us and they're like, "Hey man, you know, we want you to do some videos for us." And I go, "Okay, sure. Send me the stuff and we'll take a look at it." So they sent us the stuff and we took a look at it and we're like, "Nah." Nah.
Yes.
But they were friends of ours, so it was like, "Oh, crap." So we filmed the stuff. We just filmed it.
Right.
It's filmed. And then that was it. That's all we did. And so we're going to Vegas, and now they're all out in Vegas, and they're like, "Hey man, we need to have a meeting when we're out in Vegas to talk about this." And I was like, "What's there to talk about, man?" And they're like, "Well, how bad was it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's bad. It's pretty bad. Like, we're not going to publish these things. Yeah, I mean, I'll give them to you. You can do whatever you want with them, but I'm not going to be responsible for."
Blood's not on my hands.
Yeah, I'm not killing the company. Like, screw that.
Yeah.
So, and no, don't ask. I'm not going to tell you. So, anyways, I edited the 3 videos and I put them up and I gave them the private links to them. And I said, "Here you go. Do what you will with these." And then they're like, "Well, we still want to have a meeting with you when we get out of Vegas." I said, "Of course, man, no problem." So Fernando and I go meet with these guys, and it was great because they're just like, they're pissed because they paid for spec amplifiers. Like,
Right.
these are their entry level amplifiers. They're not proud of these amplifiers. They're just price point things, but they paid for spec amplifiers. I mean, if Kenwood can make an amplifier that is a 500 watt amp that puts out 800 watts at 13.8,
Right.
I'm pretty sure anyone can figure this shit out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. They did this on purpose. The
It's
company
like,
they
oh
got them
yeah,
from,
spec,
that.
total spec.
Yeah.
It's like that. And I'm looking at him like, dude, that amplifier could not do 1,500 watts if I was to shoot lightning up its asshole. Like, I'm at 14.5, and no, I was at like 4 on one of those. I was like 14.2.
Right.
I'm like, we're not getting 300
That's
watts.
close. Yeah. You should be within, plus or minus 10% at that point.
I'm like, we're not even close, man. And they were pissed because they were just like, dude, this isn't what we paid for. And I was like, hey, man, listen, I get it. Yeah, I understand. I'm like, next time, get the samples, send them to us, and we'll verify, and we'll send them back. I don't want them.
Yeah.
It's look, what will you charge for that? We'll charge this. It's not that bad. It's a couple $100, but it's like, I mean, that's what Stinger did. With all the new Stinger Pro amps that they're selling online, we verified all that shit for them. They brought us all the prototypes, and they were like, test these amplifiers. Jeff Smith was there taking pictures and set them back, and they're like, yeah, these all pass. We're gonna do these. I was like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, they really should do that. Yeah, I mean, they especially if they don't have the equipment. I mean, they need to send them someone that does have the equipment to.
Well, it's not even like they don't have the equipment. It's just like they just don't care.
Right.
And honestly, the only reason why they're doing it is because of Derek.
Oh yeah.
Because he'll get his hands on it and just destroy it. So
right.
They come to me and they're like, could you just test these for us so that if Derek buys one, he doesn't.
It does what it says. Yeah, he ain't going. If it says it on the box, you better be doing it. At least RMS. You could say max power or whatever you want.
Yeah. It's funny. So I told you we blew up one of the Astrons, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I bought the part. They sell the part from Astron, which is cool, but we haven't had time to fix it. But I bought two more 70s. So now we have 4 70s and 2 50s, plus the 2 2150 batteries.
All on a 110 plug.
Oh yeah, it's like 18 gauge.
Dude, I have 2 100 amps here. And they're actually I tested them out, they're true 100 amps. But what I did do is I wanted them to both go on and off one switch. So I was like, I'm gonna buy a heavy duty power strip, I bought the heavy duty power strip. freaking smoked the switch on it for whatever. Like it still works, but you can't turn it on and off no more.
Yeah.
So I warranted got the other one, and it's fine. But I was just testing the power supplies only. Like, can I get 200 amps out of these? And I
Yeah.
can smoke that. So lesson learned. I probably need even more better power strip.
So the power strip I have is from like the 1950s.
Yeah.
So we got nothing to worry about there. Like,
yeah, there's no protected. It's like we're going.
this switch will never die. Like,
right.
this is, and I swear to God, this is your grandfather's power switch, the power strip. I'm like, where did we find this? And in our install bay, in the corner by the door that never opens, is the fuse panel. And when I moved in, the first thing I did was put an outlet directly below the fuse panel.
Right.
So we have this giant 4-gauge extension cord that plugs into that, and then so it's as good as it's going to get in our building.
Right.
And right outside our bay is the into the building. So
yeah,
what am I gonna do? It's like whatever.
Well, like every room in our house, luckily has 20 amp service.
Right.
So I'm kind of lucky there, and I'm lucky that I can run both these full tilt and not throw the breaker with some lights and stuff. So I've been pretty lucky. I would like to get 4 of them, but I don't think that 20 amp service is going to cut it for that.
Do it in the garage.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think probably for less than $500 I could have 30 amp service ran to this single plug. But how far do I want to go? Like, amp testing is not really my thing.
No.
So
mine either. I don't want.
Yeah.
Dude, I hate it.
Right.
I mean, you want to bore the frick out of somebody? All right, let's do it. Yeah.
Well, and it's just it's a kind of a side thing for me. So I try to do like unique ones, or someone sends one, I'll do one. But
I mean, for us, it just kind of falls into like if for us, it's a small part of the bigger part of the video. So
right.
Because we're going to do the whole like unbox it. It's going to go into the lab. It's going to be dyno. I mean, we'll still like if all we need to do it, like if someone says, hey, can you do this? Or I'm just, I got my hair up my butt and I'm like, man, I'd really like to just see what this thing does. Let's make a video out of it. Yeah, we'll do that because why not? It can be fun, at least for us.
Well, yeah, it could and it depends on what the amp is. And most of them, like, I just feel like Derek's got the formula for what people want to see in an amp dyno.
Yeah.
So it's like, I just let Derek could do that. I'll just do my little whatever, weird amps, what I'm trying to go for. Weird amps are ones that someone's like, hey, you want to check this out? Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, in there again, it's not like it's part of what we want to do, because honestly, most of the stuff we're talking about, you don't want to dyno.
Right.
Like if I bought a Moscone Pico, I'm not going to dyno that. Like dyno's not even it won't even know what to do with the dyno.
Right. Well, that's a good thing. Like Derek, I don't think people realize how many bullets Derek's taken for people buying these piece of junk amps and be like, hey, look, this thing's a piece of shit,
though, man. That's his shit.
And he's wasting his money, so you don't have to. But then people like, oh well, it did pretty good power. I'll go ahead and spend $100 on it. Like, no, don't. Yeah. No, you just said it's bad. It sounds like crap.
Yeah, but they'll still do it.
Right.
David. Thanks, Dave.
Yeah, hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, no, it's silly. I mean, I just wish we'd stop blowing shit up.
Yeah, that's
like,
not
God
fun.
Damn it.
That's not fun.
Well, and it was funny too because we blew it up. We were testing the 45th anniversary Morel Amps, and the 2-channel has the high current, low current, and it's supposed to be 150 at high current, low current.
Right.
And so we have the new production run amplifiers. So, and we've had them for a while, and they're like, hey, could you just check them? We're like, sure, no problem. Because our whole dyno was down. Like, it just was it's just shit. So we're like, cool. We just finished it. We grabbed the amp, we threw it on there, and all we needed was pictures just to show high current, low current working the way it was supposed to, because it does like 170 amp or 170 watts, both high current and low current, or it's like
Right.
maybe it's 155 and like 170. It's really close, but it does what it's supposed to do, which is exceptional. And then we blew it up because we were I blew it. It wasn't the amplifier that blew it. It was me doing dumb shit because we put all the breakers on it, and it was like, oh, son of a bitch. So we really want you to turn the power off.
Dude, I blew, testing that NVX, I blew 300 amp fuses. Trying to do it on the sine wave so I could get the, the legit, the certified number or whatever. And it's like, dude, I can't, like, at 1 ohm, I could do it on the rest of them, sure. 4 ohm, 2 ohm. At 1 ohm, about 300 amps, like, and just was me, like a 300 amp fuse can take a lot of power, but it's a time thing for how long,
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. It's definitely like I cannot do anything over 500 or 5,000 watts. It's just,
I don't want to do anything over 2.
Yeah, me neither. I mean, I would never run. I say that, but I have a 3,000 watt amp in my truck now. But I'm running at 4 ohms at the time. It's just there in case I want to test something.
Right. No, and I get it. I mean, like, so I had this guy come in today, and really nice guy, fan of the show. Who knows? He might even watch this. I don't know. If he does, much love, man. So it was one of those things where it's like Paul's like, hey, could you go out and talk to this guy? And my day was not going great to begin with, because we had a cancellation, which was great because it was like, oh my God, we can work on the install bay. Because we've been desperately trying to get the toolbox out of the middle of the install bay and over to the wall where it belongs. So it was like, we can do this. We've been, it's like the other day we emptied the inside of it, and then I took the power out of it, and then it was like, oh my God. So then it's like, it's not like we can just slide the old workbench out of the way. We physically have to disassemble the whole workbench. And so we're doing that, and it's just, it's a pain in the ass, and it's just like, and I built it 10 years ago, and I'm going, the hell was I thinking? I mean, it's got 10 million fucking, it's like got as many screws as I would put zip ties on something. Like, I overbuild everything.
Like,
there's this
10-year-old Dean is an asshole.
Oh yeah. I go, look at this, what I built right here. Like, oh my, why would I have done this? It's like all this overly complicated woodworking 2x4 shit. And he's just, I don't know, because it's you, man. You always find the hardest way to do everything. But he goes, but it never broke. Like, it never broke. And it works as good as it did then as it does now. I was like, yeah, I get it. But fuck. So anyways, as much as I wanted to do that, I was just not happy because I would have much rather made money and worked on a car. So, so at this point, I go out to this guy's car. He's like, hey, I need you to go look at this guy's car. Go out to this guy's car, and it was a swing and a miss, strike one, because what this guy wanted wasn't what Paul was trying to get him to go with. And I'm like, dude, listen, man, I understand exactly what you want. We're not going to hit that mark. You want a factory 8-inch touchscreen. They make them for this car. They make them just go buy it. Okay, go buy it, put it in. You'll be much happier. There's no reason you don't want what we're selling,
Right, yeah.
You're not trying to make it sound better. You're not trying to make it look cooler. You're not trying to do it. You literally just want the factory 8-inch touchscreen. There's a company that makes the factory 8-inch touchscreen for you to buy. Go buy it.
Yeah, he's like the guy that's like, you know what? I'll just go to the local stereo shop. I've seen, we'll see what they have to offer.
Yeah. It was like, no. So, boom, strike one. I was like, oh my God. It's upsetting because it's like, I want to, the customer has to be happy when they leave. And this guy would have not been happy. So it was like, I have to make sure that, okay, cool. So I'm standing there. I go back in and we're not going to do it. He's like, oh, okay, bummer, And so Paul's like, oh, could you go talk to this guy? And I'm like, okay. So this guy's got a Tahoe, and like a 2020 Tahoe. And he's like, hey, we got these EV bikes, and we're going to put a bike rack on the back of our car. We're just going to leave it on there because it weighs like 90 pounds. And I don't want to be taking it on and off. But when it folds up, it's going to block my camera. So what I was thinking is I could put another camera right up here in the door. And I'm going, oh my God. Jesus. Now I had just done one the other day in the FJ that we worked on. And that was like a 4.5 hour install trying to put a camera up there. And I'm like, so I'm looking at this, which is 2020 Tahoe, and I'm going to work on this like all day. Like all day. And I looked at the guy and I was like, okay, so that's a great idea. And I totally understand it. But you're probably looking at somewhere between $1,800 to $2,200 to do this. And he's just like, really? I was like, let me explain what we're looking at so you can kind of get a feel for this. First off, the parts are going to be somewhere between $700 to $800 just for the product to do it. He's like, that expensive? I was like, yeah. Yeah. There's an interface, there's a camera. Okay. Now let's talk about what you think is easy in your head and how these wires are going to have to run and what I have to do here and how much I have to take. He's like, oh, wow. Yeah, I really didn't think of all that. I go, well, that's why you're here. He goes, yeah, I was thinking like $1,000. I'm like, nah, not going to happen.
I'm sure somebody zip tie them or
yeah,
some
it's
double-sided
cool.
tape for
Ruiner
1,000.
2020, go for it, bro. Do you agree on amplifier size wattage where you recommend running both the positive and negative leads to the battery on aluminum forward? All of them. We do it on all of them.
All of them.
We do it on all of them. We do not do it. So whether it's a kicker key or it's a full-on, multi-amp, 0-gauge, twin runs, doesn't matter. It always gets power and ground to the battery. Hey, if I got to run power,
yeah,
how much more time is it going to take me? It's an
right.
extra terminal.
Well, plus the way you install is from the back to the front, so it's kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So then I go to the third guy. The third guy's like, hey man, I love the show. I'm so excited. I got this SUV. I want to put some stuff in it. And I'm like, let's go. He's like, I already got some stuff. And I'm like,
oh,
great,
no,
here we go. Dude pulls out a Salt 4.
Oh, no.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. It's fucking.
Yeah.
And I'm
and
like,
they're heavy
okay.
too. They're serious.
Yeah. And I'm like, all right. And he goes, and then he's got this giant crescendo, like 8004, 804. I don't know the nomenclature there. So it was just this giant crescendo amp. And he had like an audio control 810. And he's like, I'm going to get a limitless battery. And I got a Sundown 10-inch, I'm getting a Gately box. There's a company that makes a 300 amp alternator. Because I'm like, dude, this is a Honda. Like, no, like you don't do this in Honda. And so I'm like, okay, time out. What are we trying to do? Because he started out and he was like, I want my trunk space.
Oh, no.
So we're looking in the trunk and I go, can I interject here for a minute? I said, those two amplifiers are sitting on your back seat and they take up your whole back seat. Where am I putting those back here? Were you think in some world you're gonna? It's like, I was like, we're gonna take out your spare tire, and he's like, oh man, I really don't. I'm like, so I said, all right, let's reset here. What is it we're trying to do? Let's back out of this whole nightmare. Let's just start over. Let's, because you're not looking to do this today. Let's because this stuff is all out of his previous Honda, and like some of it's new, but it's just like, what are we trying to do? And he's like, I want to build a really nice system. I want to be loud. I got a DSP, so I want to DSP it. We'd already talked about, does he want loudspeakers or does he want conventional speakers? He said, I want conventional speakers. I just want aluminum tweeters. So he's going through all this stuff. So he pays attention. He knows what he's talking about. And I go, okay, so why are we going with the stuff you have other than the fact that you have it? I'm like, you're going to have to buy a battery. You're going to have to buy an alternator. You're going to have to do all this shit to run this. Why are we doing this? Why are we going to destroy your car to do this? And it was like, you understand, I could put 2 Audison amplifiers in your car, give you more power than this with a DSP and not affect any part of your car. It just works,
When I think people underestimate how loud an efficient 1,000-watt system can be. I think they get online and they see, oh, well, I can get this much power for this much, so I should get that. Well,
you look at like an 8 by 80 watt amplifier with a DSP built into it, and it's like $2,000.
Yeah.
And then you look at like MVX, JP, Sundown, and it's like like, no,
Yeah.
it's not that. And you're like, yeah, but this thing will kick its ass. It's like, it's not the amplifier is great, plenty
Right.
of power, but it's got a DSP that's going to destroy,
Yeah.
you know?
You got to think about your system as a whole rather than
Yeah,
just
just the parts.
just plugging in blocks. It's like, oh, check. Like I always say, check boxes. They're trying to hit the check boxes on what they want. But
Yeah.
if you actually just take the time to think about your system, plan it out, you can do a lot with a little power.
Yeah.
Now, if you're talking 160 dB, okay, you're gonna need the Salt 4K or
Oh,
maybe a
for
Salt
sure.
8K.
But see, he didn't want to do that.
Right.
He got a
Yeah.
10-inch. He's like, I want to run the amp, so I only get 1,000 watts out of it. And I'm like, what are we
Yeah.
doing? Like, why are we doing that? No.
Yeah. Sell all those. Those are actually pretty expensive amps for the sell those and get this. And
Well, that's what I said. So
yeah.
at the end of the day, we priced them on a whole Audison Forza system, because they have the 8-channel. So they have the new 814, which is an 8-channel amplifier with a 14-channel DSP built into it. So you can do companion amps. And they have a 1,000-watt mono. Actually, I have a 1,200-watt mono block. And all the amps are this big, and it's like we can run that 8-channel, 6-channel. So we get staggered power up front, 80 watts on the tweeters, like 160 watts for the mid bass, 80 watts for the rear speakers.
Yeah.
He's got the ohm load sub. It's going to be 1,000 watts. I'm like, dude, standard
That's
power
gonna rock.
wire, nothing fancy. The
Yeah.
EQ, the DSP in it is like,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. You don't need a new alternator,
right.
big, huge, limitless lithium bank.
Well,
Yeah.
that was the thing. At the end of the day, once you figured us the price of putting in his stuff
Right.
was 0 gauge, and buying an alternator, buying a battery, you're not saving any money.
Yeah.
You might save $1,000. That's it,
Right.
if that. But honestly, I don't think you're going to save that. I think you might save $500.
Yeah.
Because I was like, dude, what it's going to cost us just to put your stuff in is going to be this amount of money. We're not that far off by the time you buy that battery and that alternator and pay someone to put that in.
Yeah. And I always feel like, just me personally, like if I'm gonna have a shop install my stuff, I would rather get the equipment there, not just support the shop, but if I have a problem with the equipment,
Yeah.
I got it from them, they installed it.
Yes, we'll deal with it.
It's easier for them to deal with it. Now, if you bring them all your old equipment and something goes wrong, hey, there's no warranty on that. There's no.
It's a pain.
Yeah.
It's a pain, man. It's honestly no fun. I know a lot of, I'll get this, and it's like, it's no fun, man, because it's like, especially it's like, hey, I got all these parts, and it's like, oh god, why?
It's if you're doing it yourself, awesome.
Yes.
But if you're going to a shop, in my opinion, I mean, I think you should just go to a shop that carries equipment that you want. And
so now, see, the opposite side of that is we had a guy come in the day before, and he was like, hey, it was a consultation. He's like, none of my stuff is working. I said, well, what do you got? He's like, I had this car. It was a Chrysler. They took out the Harman Kardon amplifier and put in a 5-channel JL amplifier. I'm like, wait, what? Like, yeah. And I was like, why would you do that? And he's like, what do you mean? I was like, dude, you're telling me you took out the 14-channel DSP time-aligned center channel having amplifier and put in a 5-channel. What were you hoping for? I wanted more power. There again. Multiple channels with tons of power in 5-channel.
Yeah.
What? How does it sound? Well, I mean, the speakers are blown now. How did it sound before they blew? Well, there was a couple issues with it. I was like, I'm sure. So as it turned,
was it all factory speakers too?
Oh yeah. Oh, and
damn.
they left. Oh, it was so, dude. I was like, oh my god, man. Like, they launched some of these factory speakers into the stratosphere, and it was just like, okay, so this is what you did. This is what you got rid of. This is what's broken. Do you want us to fix it, or do you want to do it right at this point?
Right.
He's like, I'm already $2,500 into this. What is it going to cost me I want it right. And I was like, okay, well, let's put a DSP back in it. So like, since you took out the DSP, can we
Yeah.
put a DSP back in it? Because he's like, it sounded really good from the factory, just wasn't loud enough. And I was like, in a 5-channel amp ain't gonna do that.
Right.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you should just add subs. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
So, but there again, this is one of those things where he went to a shop, and I said, and he's like, oh, it's those guys. I was like, time out. Do those guys suck? Probably not. They might. I don't know. I mean, but a lot of sales guys, it's like, if you come in with the I need this attitude, that salesman is going to give you whatever it is you ask for, because at the end of the day, you seem to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
He walked in and says, I need this louder. What can you do? Can you put a nice 5-channel amp in it? Yeah. All right, here you go. Rock on, baby.
Blow.
Yeah.
Blow
Either way, I felt bad for the guy. I really did. I'm super excited because it's gonna make a beautiful 911.
Exactly. Everyone loves those.
We haven't done one in a while, so I was like, oh, we're totally gonna 911 this. Yeah, because I mean, it was just one of those things where it was like, God, jeez.
Wait, have you ever done a 911 on a Porsche 911?
And I hope to never.
I feel like it's got to happen now.
I hope it doesn't. I hope it doesn't. Yeah. God, no, no, please, no. But, all right. So, hey guys, real quick before we go and wrap this up, next week is going to be a little different. Make sure you follow the notifications. It's either going to be this show or the other show. We're only going to do one show next week, and I'll be on the road doing it. So because I got to do some driving next Thursday. So please pay attention to the socials, the feeds, and we'll post which one we're going to be on. Of course, I'll let you guys know on Instagram, like I try to do every week, anyways. So with the exception of today. So yeah, stay tuned for next week. Just be looking to see what it is, and it might be a little early too. So I think it's going to start somewhere between 7:30 and 8. Just because we can.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just want to end with a belated happy birthday.
So,
huh?
2. Who wishing a happy birthday to?
To you.
My birthday's in June.
Wait, who was it? All right, so no. Well, I just seen somebody's.
Bobby's a grandpa now. That's pretty cool.
I didn't see that.
No.
I didn't see that. All right, so I was somebody else then. All right,
that's okay. I mean, I'll take it. I don't want to be any older, but I'll take it.
But it's early. It's
an early. You didn't miss it. You're just really early.
That's who it is. It was the EXO. My bad.
EXO? Okay.
Yeah, you guys are both small guys. I mean, you don't have a beard.
Listen, everyone is small to you.
Well, how'd you like standing next to Joseph? He's even taller than me.
Oh, yeah. We were giving Joseph a really hard time. He had his dog with him. And Joseph's like, are you guys stalking me? I said, wait a minute. Time out. There's a hierarchy here. You're stalking us.
Yeah.
Because it was like, we literally passed him like every time we were going somewhere. It's like Joseph's going one way. And he's like, bro, what the hell? I'm like, you stop following us.
I got a bunch of short followers.
It's not my birthday. It's not my birthday.
Right. Yeah, it was the EXO and Fuegos.
Yeah.
All right, join us on the next show.
There you go.
We'll talk more nonsense.
Happy belated birthday.
The flame. All right. See you on the next show.